Howdy, howdy, welcome to another wonderful Trash Take. Today, we are going to talk about some more cancel culture, specifically what's going on with Bethesda right now. So as everyone's seen with Charlie Kirks' death, a lot of people have gone full mask off and shown how much of sacks of shit that they actually are and how little they care for human life and how much they want you dead because you disagree with them. I've seen a lot of live by the sword, die by the sword. If a dude who's engaging in open debate gets murdered, did you say that's living by the sword and dying by the sword? That tells me all I need to know about you. Anyways, today we're going to be talking mainly about Bethesda. What's currently trending on Twitter is something that I was very confused about, and I thought we had a lot of overzealous cancel culture retards trying to come after Bethesda, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized what the video actually was, and I'll show you the video right now. This is a video that Bethesda's official Twitter account posted, and then deleted after about 5 minutes.
Huh. Nice place. You don't care much about these fascists, do you?
That's interesting. Huh. For context, if you've been living under a rock, with Charlie Kirks' death, a bunch of leftists are claiming he's a fascist. Now, this is a term they throw around to dehumanize people that they disagree with. Them posting a clip of Indiana Jones saying, nice fascist, randomly, out of the blue, for a game that came out on December 9th, 2024, on September 15th, 2025 it's kind of weird. Doesn't really make sense. And I was confused at first because I didn't actually see what he said. I just saw he said good kitty, he was petting a kitty. But he says, don't care about fascists. Leftists call everyone fascist, and if anything, it's them flexing a position of power. I've previously said this in my videos. What we have right now is a bunch of crazy people who have been embedded into our society. I estimate 5, 10, 15% of the people that are around us are these crazy leftists cheering for Charlie Kirks' death based on what I'm seeing on social media. It's crazy to me. Someone at Bethesda, inside their PR team or whoever has access to their Twitter account, is one of those crazy leftists. To post something like this immediately after a major political commentator has been brutally assassinated is fucking crazy. But kind of makes sense, and here's why. I did none of the digging here, so shout out to this guy, master of the TDS. He's the one who put this together and showed me what I was looking for here, because they said it was a Bethesda producer who has been openly supportive of Charlie Kirks' death, basically been supporting for his murder in some way, shape, or form. And I was like, I haven't really seen much about it. Well, it turns out he's been retweeting and saying some random shit. Like, the day he died, I'm feeling fancy. Should I order a fancy takeout for no reason? Also retweeting, be careful what you say. We don't want to go to the gulag today. And then also posting the crab rave meme, a bunch of crabs dancing and partying, which is kind of funny. Because he's saying, guys, you don't have to mourn, and then he's also posting pictures of him partying. That's weird. And, like he says in his bio, producer at Bethesda Game Studios. Also, like, you see a Palestinian flag here. If you want to know how mentally ill someone is, look at their handle. The more flags they have, the more of a red flag they are. And, clearly, they're a walking red flag. So, why does this matter? This matters because these fucking idiots are literally everywhere. They are a danger to society, and they are all in society. This reminds me of a communist manifesto that I read back when I was a wee lad, back when I considered myself a Democrat. I was big into the whole fight the power, don't start new wars, get out of war, war's bad, don't trust big pharmacy, be an independent thinker. And because I was younger, I considered myself a Democrat. And then I grew up and realized most of the Democrats now are telling me to bend over backwards for a shot and wear a mask that does nothing, and then don't think for yourself whatsoever. Trust these subject matter experts who very clearly have a bias or they have a very clear monetary incentive to tell lies in order to spread more misinformation online, and then they never get fact-checked because the people who are fact-checking them are also leftists who agree with them without any real critical thinking. And it's ever since then, it's kind of been like a radicalization moment for me where I realized Democrats are fucking retarded, and it's only ever gone further right to where at this point I consider myself a centrist-leaning right, but I'm going to be called a Nazi and a leftist either way. I've made this statement before, but the reason why this matters is these people are everywhere. And to tie it back to the communist part, it was something called the Long March, I believe is the term. Let me prove it. I learned about this when I was younger. The Long March through the institutions. It's a way to radicalize the youth that is taking the systems in power and corrupting the next generation further and further and enforcing your own ideology when you can and discriminating those who are against your ideology. Which I can point to multiple things on a graph, like the IRS specifically targeting Christian churches for audits repeatedly and absurdly under the Biden administration. But basically, it's a theory to change the government by becoming a part of it. You have generations of socialists that are coming over and they're getting in positions of power where they use that power to enforce their own ideology, enforce their own laws, and make society around them more socialist by force. Eventually they'll win, and the idea is actually working in modern day America. This is why you have a bunch of leftist DAs who are soft on crime. They are, in a sense, part of the socialist problem where they're undermining the society by allowing the criminals to run free that they agree with. That is how this works. This is what's currently happening in America. And the institutes are literally anything from school, college, police, judiciary, electoral, whatever you want. It's basically an idea of slowly encroaching into a nation and winning by a long period of time by letting themselves take position of power and going unchecked. I've said this a few times. I just want to say this is what's happening, and this is what's happening at Bethesda right now. Except they think they're at the in-game stage where they've completely won and they've gone full mask off, and I'm praying to God it's too late. By them purposely infesting the establishments, it allows them to undermine the civil justice or the fabric of society in America, and that's clearly what's happening here. Right now, we need stronger message from our leadership. I'm sorry, Donald Trump's not cutting it. There's too many people openly celebrating his death, and I'm not seeing enough people get arrested for it. I need to see numbers, I need to see specific cases, and I need trials in order for me to know my leadership's doing everything they can to stop these radical fucking leftist retards all in our society from wanting me dead and doing everything they can to kill me. Because as far as I can tell, these people are everywhere. I've posted videos. I'm seeing I've posted videos on the crazy lady calling for Charlie Kirk's entire family to be murdered. There's not just one. This isn't isolated. There's thousands of these people proudly posting this, and there's even more people retweeting it, upvoting it, and commenting saying how great it was. They are useful idiots everywhere, and they don't understand what they're doing, and they're going to lead to the downfall of society faster than anything I've ever seen. But that was just a tangent for today. That's all I wanted to do for this video. So if you like the video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe. If you disagree with me and don't believe this is a long march through the institutes, I want to know why. Do you think this is a natural course in society for most of our institutes to be taken over by these leftists that promote their ideology and then kick people out of class when they disagree with them? Because I mean, there's direct example. Because I mean, colleges are supposed to be a place of education, but now more than ever, they seem to be a place of indoctrination, where you're encouraged to listen to the teacher and given good grades for doing so. And as soon as you start dissenting, they don't defend their opinions; they kick you out of the class. A&M has a problem with this right now with a trans teacher that's demanding demanding future generations of teachers teach kids about gender ideology, which is directly in conflict of A, grooming laws in Texas, and B, a presidential executive order, but still teaching it in class. I went to A&M, so that one hit a little closer to home. That's why I want to include that example, but that's just the first one off the top of my head. I could think of about two more, but I don't really care. But that's all I have time for today. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful time. Later.